about a topic that's incredibly important to marriage. And the topic is expectations and how we handle them.
Yeah, and so we all have expectations. And expectations are just beliefs about what things will be or even what we believe they should be. And they include behaviors, roles, big things like life and death and relationships, and little things just like details as well. And so we have expectations about everything all the time. And they can be little. Like I said, it could be what we're having for dinner, what we're watching on TV when we get home, or it can be when you said I do, you had an expectation about what the next 20 years would look like. And so there's even expectations when you walk in tonight. You walk into this room and you have an expectation about what the room will look and feel like, what the teaching will be like, what's going on in your small group tonight. All those things are expectations, and every one of us have them.
Yeah, and I think if you look back at some of the major conflict in your marriage, so oftentimes that will have started with expectations and them being unmet. And I think it's been our experience that a lot of times that happens kind of over years, moving from sadness all the way to, or disappointment all the way to anger. And you'll see couples, year one, they kind of wake up and go, like I might not have been dating that person. I think I dated their PR department, right? And a year two, it all comes into focus like, oh no, like they're not who I thought they were. This is not the way I thought it would go. But that's okay, because I'll just change them, right? And I'll craft them into the ideal spouse that I've always wanted. And about 5, 6, 7 years in, then you realize, oh man, they might not change. And that's where some of the anger and real disappointment comes in. And all of that generally is kind of built and is a reaction to kind of unmet expectations. So Philippians 2, 3, and 4, which we talk about a lot in here, would be just to put your spouse and see your spouse as more important than yourself, and begin to ask them, what are your expectations? What are your hopes? What are your desires? All those kind of things, right? And then get out ahead of those and look to meet those. So you got to decide how you're going to handle them as a couple. You got to decide how you're going to handle it as an individual. And here's what I've learned about in my own life, is that unmet expectations do an incredible job of surfacing idols in my heart, right? They do an incredible job of surfacing idols in your heart. Now, what's an idol? It's not a little statue that you bow down to or burn incense to. It could be, but biblically, it's just something that becomes ultimate in your life. It could be something that, honestly, that's good. It could be kids. It could be the hope of a great conversation, or of great sex, or of money in the bank, or any of those kind of things, which aren't inherently bad, but they just become ultimate. And the way you know they become ultimate is that when you don't have them, you get really, really mad. You get wrecked, right? It just wrecks your well-being, your heart, your soul, and you find no joy in the situation. And oftentimes, unmet expectations will surface that. And so I think for all of us, when we find our expectations being unmet, when we find ourselves being really angry, it's good to chase back and say, have I made something that was good, God? And what we're trying to teach our kids and remind ourselves is that if we've got God, we're good, right? So if my wife doesn't want to talk to me, if we don't have sex, if we don't have money in the bank, or our kids aren't healthy, we can be sad, but we don't have to be wrecked. So guys, you got to make sure that your expectations are known, they're reasonable, they're clear. You're willing to listen to God, willing to listen to others. You guys got to handle this well as a couple, but you got to handle this well as an individual. And make sure above all else, your deepest hope, your deepest desire is God, and not anything your spouse can do or be for you.
ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life.
How high can you go?
You're a shooting star.
We got a star.
No. It's not hard to wait, but now it shows.
Jesperson at the line.
In a one shot.
Fielder up high.
And in time. The time is short. And the road.
Chalmers for the
Win or lose, you always did your best. 'Cause inside
extra
you,
pass.
that one shining moment, you
Farouk Finish on three.
one shining moment.
Shock and awe. In college basketball, UNBC makes history.
Feel the beat of your heart, feel the wind in your face. It's more than a contest, it's more